Hello everyone, this is Yuri with Hammer and Strings. I'm going to be showing a way to learn a piece and to practice it from the very beginning. So something we do not want to do is just learn the notes and maybe then the fingers and maybe then the phrasing. But from the very beginning, we want to think, how are these notes grouped? What is the beat in the measure? What is the rhythm we're dealing with? And even though we can't play at full speed, we can't even play evenly in the beginning, we can still try to do the rhythm the best we can. The second thing we want to pay attention to is when we're playing these notes, as long as they're correct, we want to memorize them. So that's why we slow down, to make sure we don't hit wrong notes. But in order to go slow, hit the right notes, and remember it in our fingers, we also need to add something called weight. So it's not useful to play with very light or sketching kind of a sound, but we want to create a full-bodied sound from the very beginning. Now, later you might diminish that, you might increase it, but at the very least, in the very beginning, you want a nice natural weight from your arms in a relaxed way. So not rushing anything, taking time with each little phrase and thinking, okay, what are my phrases? When we talk about phrasing, we can think of natural speech. We naturally round things off in the end of phrases when we're talking casually. We naturally increase something when we proclaim something. And sometimes we make a bigger crescendo when we're really trying to make a strong point. When we ask a question, we usually are stronger in the beginning and then we lighten up towards the end. That's a form of a question. So in music, there are all of these kind of phrases and more, and you want to think from the very beginning, how did the composer organize all of these notes? So you're not just learning note by note and finger by finger, but you're thinking of the shape of the phrase, and that will help you actually identify what are the best fingers to use and the best hand position and shape as well. Also, it might be good to think about the tempo. In the future, you'll perform this piece in a faster tempo than you're learning right now. So, are the fingers you're planning correct according to that higher speed? Or are they going to be super comfortable in a lower speed, but then impossible to do at a higher speed? So he's playing here with strong beats on downbeats and syncopated rhythm, which sounds a little bit more smooth. There's no accents there. There's actually trills, which make it even smoother. So now that I know that shape, I'm going to try to read this, how I would actually now start to learn the piece, without hopefully wrong notes. And I'm using these repeating notes to prepare the next position. And I'm playing it as much phrasing as possible and trying to be even. There we go. I want to be lighter on the first part, so I can go down here. And I can try those decorations even slower because I want to actually understand how to play them, not just blast through them. I'm not rushing between the phrases, I'm taking my time. But within the phrase, I'm trying to do the right rhythm. For example, I'm not doing right, because that would be really awkward. But I'm trying to get to the downbeat without stopping. What is different in this music is we have a lot of upbeats. And what our brain naturally wants to do is ignore the upbeats and think of the beginning of a phrase as the beginning of the measure. But instead we want to look at, despite the measures, how are the phrases actually shaped? In this case, there's not a single phrase that we've played that actually begins on the beginning of a measure. It's always before the measure begins. We need to ignore the measures, know they're there, know where your beat one is, but not actually use the beginning of the measure as your actual start.